Nicholas Warunge had returned from the United States of America to spend Christmas and New Year with his family. What he did not know is that the title to his life story would be breaking the news headlines, from the USA to the grave.
Hello, and thank you so much for joining me, and welcome to Murder Chronicles. I am a great fan of true and real-life crimes. If you too are a fan, then this is a place where to be. Consider hitting that subscribe button so that you may continue enjoying this kind of documentaries from me. January 5th, 2021. Lawrence Warunge is 22 years old at the time. He is a student at Mount Kenya University. On this fateful day, he went home to Kiambaa in Kiambu County in a village called Karura. Upon arriving home, he goes to meet James Kinyanjui, a man who works as a mason in a construction site. James Kinyanjui is in his room. It is quite late in the evening. Upon seeing Lawrence, Kinyanjui wasn't bothered at all. He knew him very well. "Hey, I would like for you to assist me with a metal rod," said Lawrence after they exchanged greetings. Excitedly, Kinyanjui looked for a metal bar around and handed it over to Lawrence without questions, and he looked away to continue with his work. Out of the blue, being caught unaware, Lawrence attacked the worker, hitting him so hard at the back of the head. Kinyanjui collapsed. He then went ahead and stabbed him countless times before finally slitting his throat. Lawrence doesn't flee. He remains hidden at the crime scene. He's waiting for his father to return home. At around 8 p.m., he managed to sneak to the main compound through the rear door, where he and his family stayed. In the kitchen, he finds his mother Annie. She is not aware of what the son intends to do. But before she could sense a thing, Lawrence used the same metal bar he had, hit his mother on the head, and what followed were 17 stabs all over her body, and then he slit her throat. At the moment, Lawrence has a big family. He has 2 sisters and a brother, and a cousin who had been adopted by his parents as their own. His name is Maxwell Jenga, a 13-year-old boy. Maxwell happens to hear his aunt scream, that is Lawrence's mother, so he rushes to the kitchen to see what was the commotion all about. He is confronted by Lawrence along the corridor, and Lawrence cut his head and slit his throat. Upon seeing that Maxwell is not yet dead, he added stabs to Maxwell's body until he died. Lawrence's father, Mr. Nicholas Warunge, is in the master bedroom. He is relaxing and sipping a bottle of beer. He could hear the commotions going on in the kitchen, and he wanted to go check what was happening. Upon opening the door to the room, Lawrence, his son, stood a few steps away from him, with a knife in his hand and covered with blood. Upon sensing danger, he rushed to the balcony where he jumped over to save his life. Unfortunately, upon landing on the ground, the father hurt himself badly, and Lawrence could hear him groan with pain. Obviously, he was incapacitated. He could not run again. Lawrence walked downstairs quickly. He caught up with him. He stabbed his father 34 times before slitting his throat open. Christian Jenga, Lawrence's younger brother, was the 4th and the last victim. He was found dead on his bed with his throat slit open. He had just turned 13 years old. Before being killed, Christian was pulled from under the bed by Lawrence. He had begged for his life, down on his knees, but his plea for being spared fell into deaf ears. Lawrence still killed him. After killing the 4 family members, Lawrence went straight to the sitting room and switched on the TV. But moments later, he heard a loud bang at the gate. "It's the police." Lawrence didn't bother with the gate. He instead switched off all the lights in the house. Police gave up, assuming the family members were already asleep since they did not respond to the knock on the gate. But the police are not here to arrest Lawrence. They are here because they wanted to question some of the Warunge family members whether they had heard any commotions when James Kinyanjui was being murdered. They have not yet learned the intensity of the situation.
Fanya kazi hapa, tuifuga kazi 5, mimi nikatokea. Kurudi nilikuwa narudi around saa 3. Kapata mwenzangu ameuliwa hapa. Yeah.
So ulipigia nani simu kwanza?
Nipigia boss wangu. Hadi akakuja na afisa wa polisi.
Early next morning at around 4:30 a.m., Lawrence fled to Naivasha, Mai Mahiu, where he met his girlfriend by the name of Sarah Muthoni. There, she helped him dispose of the 2 cell phones by burning, one belonging to the mason and the other to Lawrence's father. They then go on to a certain pit latrine and dumped the murder weapons and other items, including the knife he'd used to butcher his family, his blood-stained clothes, a nylon paper, and a pair of shoes. Neighbors and police back at home have realized that his family have been murdered, but yet they haven't suspected him as the killer. However, they are trying to reach out for him, fearing that he too met the same fate as his family. But his phone is out of reach. To make it worse, he's not even at school. The detectives started tracking down his phone signals. 2 days later, he returns to Kiambu and goes to seek refuge at an uncle's home. He confesses his actions, leaving everyone in shock, confessing to all the killings. His uncle turned him in. After he's arrested, he led the police to Jikaze, a village in Mai Mahiu where his girlfriend was, but she had managed to escape by then. He took them to the spot from where they had burned the victim's cell phones from. Later, he led them to the latrine where they had dumped the murder weapons. The police managed to retrieve a knife and later the metal bar. The girlfriend is now being hunted. Sarah Muthoni was finally arrested, but later she was released on bond, but she was to stand as the only witness against the killings of Lawrence Warunge. In this event, this is when he confesses that his killings had been inspired by the TV series Killing Eve, where the main character murders victims skillfully. He had also been driven by the books 8 Perfect Murders by Peter Swanson and The Eve of Murder by James Whiteworth. Lawrence was taken into custody after that, but through his lawyer Ntenga Marube, he had tried to seek a release on bond in the Kiambu High Court. However, the surviving family members of the extended family vehemently opposed that their king be released on bail. This is because he still intends to kill the remaining siblings. The sisters had luckily escaped the jaw of death. Reason being, Sarah Muthoni is the person who had bought the knife that was used as the murder weapon. She was not aware why Lawrence had asked her to buy him a knife. The 2 sisters who had earlier returned to the boarding school on the day of the murder survived because Sarah Muthoni had delayed to buy the knife for Lawrence. They had left by the time he got home. Lawrence showed no signs of remorse. He never felt sorry for his actions. He indeed insisted that his parents were evil and practiced witchcraft. They were workaholics and had neglected him during childhood, where he used to be bullied a lot. He also added that his parents didn't love him and that they treated him like he was a black sheep to the family. Lawrence Njoroge is still in custody, but on January 7, 2024, the families of the late Nicholas Warunge, his wife and the 2 children, expressed profound dissatisfaction and frustration due to delayed justice. 3 years has gone by, yet a final verdict over Lawrence had never been passed. I quote the family's spokesman. Further on, we're shocked to learn that Lawrence Simon Warunge, eldest son of the slain couple Nicholas and Annie, was the primary suspect. Lawrence took a plea on 15 April 2021, where he pleaded not guilty to 5 counts of murder. As a family, we were granted to file a victim's impact statement, which we did. The pre-trial process took up most of 2021, where there were various documents and reports from various agencies which were to be submitted before the matter could proceed to trial. The entire process from 2021 to date has caused tremendous emotional distress to the entire family of the deceased, as we have been left in abeyance for 3 years, not knowing whether the trial will begin and how it will proceed. We are living in a state of perpetual anguish. We understand the complexities of legal processes, but the seemingly endless delays have inflicted pain on our already grieving hearts. From the onset, we placed our trust in the judicial system to bring the perpetrator to justice swiftly. However, the numerous adjournments, procedural complications, and delays in the legal proceedings have eroded our confidence in the system. Our family is unable to find closure and move forward with our lives. During the said time, we also, through our lawyer Dende and Nadida Advocates LPP, and working with the prosecutors, submitted an opposition letter on behalf of the victims to accompany the prosecution's affidavit of opposition for bail or bond. In January 2022, we learned that Lady Justice Mary Kasongo, who was handling this matter, retired. Lady Justice Rachel Ngetich took over and slated the hearing on 9th and 10th May 2022. However, on the said dates, the court was not sitting and the case was given another mentioned date for 27 June 2022. Lawrence requested another mental assessment to be done on the said day. The second mental assessment took a long time to be done, but the report was finally filed in December 2022. Lawrence was found fit to stand trial. Lady Justice Rachel Ngetich then gave a hearing date for 10th and 11th May 2023. The hearing did not take place as the judge within this time was transferred. A new judge was appointed, Justice Peter Mulwa, and he gave another hearing date for 26 June 2023. On the said date, the defense counsel applied for an adjournment and it was granted. Another hearing date was once again given for 4th October 2023. On 4th October 2023, the judge was not sitting as he was on a transfer and therefore he could not handle any matters. We were given a mentioned date for 29th January 2024 to see if any judge had been appointed by then, and if so, we fixed another hearing date. The family's complaint was as below. The new High Court judge in Kiambu High Court who will be assigned to take over will be the 4th judge to handle this case that had not yet even taken off. Our lawyers have written letters to the principal judge and head of station Kiambu Law Court and also to the office of the ombudsman complaining about the delay but have not received any reasonable relief. We acknowledge the dedication and patience of the prosecution and law enforcement agencies in their efforts to bring the accused to trial. We appreciate the continued support from our community, family and friends, even professionals such as counselors who have stood with us during this difficult time. Our family is resolute in our pursuit of justice for our loved ones' murderers, and we will not rest until the legal process is concluded. Our petition is to call upon the judiciary to review the process and identify any inefficiencies that have contributed to these delays. We appeal to the court to consider the emotional toll these delays have taken on our families and the memories of our dear loved ones. We petition the Chief Justice of Kenya, Honorable Lady Justice Martha Koome, to prioritize these cases and expedite the legal process. Justice delayed is justice denied, and our family deserves closure. Dear viewer, as I speak today, Lawrence's case had not yet been resolved. He is still in remand 3 years later. But don't be frustrated too. In case of any updates concerning the case, I will keep you posted. For Murder Chronicles, I am Sarah, and thank you so much for staying tuned in. And please do not forget to subscribe. Until next time, Stay safe, and I'll see you soon.